Let me now also welcome on board Guruprasad Srinivasan from Quess Corp joining in on the show right now to talk about how their business has been. Mr. Srinivasan, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining in today. What have been some of the new hiring trends that you're seeing as the economy, one can say, has decisively opened up? All of us are sitting right here in the studios as well.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on this show. So let me start with, if I take India as a country, there are certain key things that are happening. First and foremost, we are coming out of wave 3. Second, there are a lot of intensification of digital backbone that is getting intensified across commercial establishments and businesses. Infrastructure development is a third reinforcement, which also, in part of the budget, we heard a lot of areas that is being focused around infrastructure. The fourth area is, life going beyond key metros. A lot of development happening in tier 2, tier 3 kind of segments, and over and above last, the new labor code and informal moving into formal. So I think these are four key incidents that are going to take place in next 3 years time from now on. And overriding for all of this is going to be talent and accessibility to right talent. And that's the business that we are into. We are into the human capital space, and we are quite bullish about the kind of development that is happening across. So with that, I would like to just give you some numbers around. I mean, if I were to look at Monster Index, we see almost about 7% upsurge in terms of the hiring year on year based on our database. There's a positive impact post union budget. If I take specific few sectors, BPO, IT, ITES is almost 11% up. We get more escalations on hiring in these kind of segments, and NASCOM is also, alluding to it. Very, very solid growth trajectory that we are seeing there. Manufacturing and industry is almost about 9% up in terms of hiring. Banking financial segment is almost about 15% up in hiring. Retail just coming out of it. Quite a lot of runway to go as we move forward.
Are there any specialized roles, specific industries which are seeing a higher demand right now for new talent, for new jobs, or is it pretty much across the board as the economy opens?
So as I mentioned, BPO ITES is in the order of BPO ITES tops number 1, followed by manufacturing industries. Banking financial with a lot of digital intensification that is happening in terms of the merchant pay and digital transaction on the payment side. Lot of rollout happening in that space. Retail is a space which is we love that space. We are waiting. It's a wait and watch. The multiplexes are opening just now. The retail outlets are slowly coming up. In the footfall are increasing slowly into that space. So that's a space which we watch for, but there are few futuristic space that we would definitely, we are eagerly waiting for. Telecom. Telecom is a space where we have not seen much of action in last 3 years. 5G around the corner, that's going to boost a lot because, the digital wave actually rides on rolling out of 5G over a period of time, whether it is data, whether it is robotics, whether it is process automation. Everything is layered on the IT telecom industry. So that's an area to wait and watch for 5G auction and spectrum auction that is around the corner. So travel and tourism is slowly. We are coming out of where people have just started traveling. The international borders are open. That will also lead to hotel and hospitality industry to boom a lot. So that's a segment to watch for. Of course, real estate is another area to watch for.
Mr. Prasad, the headline in the pandemic year was cut jobs, save cost. The headline last year has been great resignation. Everybody had more jobs and suddenly there was a talent crunch. What will be the headline now? Normalization, wage inflation coming down. Something has to change this year, right?
So I mean, I don't think so. There's a definition on wage or the discussion around optimization would revolve anymore. I think it's largely to do with, I mean, how fast the talent can be hired. I think that's where the game is going to change. Because earlier in technology, every 2 years there used to be a new release that used to happen, but now it is in 8 weeks there is a new release that happens. You need not wait for any upgrades for so long, and technology changes rampantly. So if I don't have access to talent, then it's going to be so. It's the speed of hiring. If I were to put it as a tagline, it's going to be availability of resource at a faster timeline.
I look at the CMI data. It tells me a surge in unemployment. That's a very raw data. I look at the EPFO data. It tells me a very different picture. They both are data points. They both are related to job. What is the right way of looking at data?
So, I mean, there are two areas in it. One is, EPFO contributors are set of formal employment, and there is also the other set of economy which is slowly coming into, which is your gig economy and on-demand economy, right? So you'll have to see holistically. So there are, in my view, there are different mix of employment. There is your regular FTEs that we generally, which we correlate to. Then you have a set of fresh entrants who come into the entry-level jobs, trainees, apprentice trainees. The third level, which is into the gig economy. So we'll have to see it holistically.
So if we were to look at it, especially when you look at the gig economy, which seems to be booming, the competition that is there, startups and unicorns, which, let's wait for the markdown season, have been flushed with cash. What has that really meant for the gig workers?
So it's a new form of employment which is coming into, and it's all about taskers on one side of the platform, and you have the task givers on the other side of the platform. So we have an investment in this space where we have invested in a company called Taskmo, where we have taskers, and on the other side we have task givers. So typically we match the task to be performed on a specific case-to-case basis, and whether it is like whether onboarding a merchant at a specific store, and these are non-repetitive in nature, and it works well for individual who doesn't want to stick to a full-time role, but do this for 8 to 10 hours during the day and earn more. And it works well on the other side for the kind of task givers to ensure that they pay per task and not for an FTE. So in totality, if you look at it, this is a form of employment, but this will not cannibalize or this will not supersede any other format of employment. This will come into a mix, maybe 10 to 15% on overall employment base.
Okay. I think we are also having some technical difficulties and getting the feed of Mr. Srinivasan back on air. But if you can still hear me, Mr. Srinivasan, in fact, we're going to fix that problem, and let's take a short commercial break till then. We'll be back in a few seconds.